For
General. Is it
hot chocolate.
oh,
Shells.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a
great.
product
Yeah.
generally.
I love your sweater, by the way. It's very cute.
Yesterday.
Barclay's bad. No one's house space in Barclay. Yeah,
Barclay's
Barclay's I know. You are supposed to be rich, but like only low success rate. Yeah, I'm not gonna go for
Down
that. It's really cool. I think it should be.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot's gonna melt this week.
Last week.
Is that my phone or is that the
I don't know. You got
It's absurd.
What do you guys do?
Sorry, I observed that you had feet before.
It does. I will say it did, there was a limited amount of time where shoveling was not.
That's true. That is absolutely true. It did turn into like ice.
Right down there.
All right, then it's gonna be pretty chill, so we'll do this soft open in just a minute.
Yeah, exactly. So it could be like
Most people who have had rest shoveling.
Just got warm, it just won't go away.
I don't mind the cold, I just mind people not doing it as opposed to.
Oh, yeah.
This is like my favorite thing to use.
Yeah, right, like, I was out this weekend, I was like,
Also, like, I'm getting used to this.
there's no mosquitoes.
Yeah, I hate things that fly,
I
and
did,
sting
I
or
did,
fly,
like,
and get my blood, that's like too many abilities.
And then I was like, I'm not even.
Flight
I've never
What
said
is flying and then something else? It's like,
Anything with flying.
yeah, it's like, at least if you're gonna annoy me on my list.
It was like 38 today in the middle of the day, and I felt like I could away. I was like standing outside, I was like, oh, this is nice. Really shows where we're at.
I was like able to go in my backyard without like breaking attention. And today I like.
Yeah.
You know what's supposed to actually snow tomorrow?
So it's supposed to warm up, like, I would say.
It is, but also snow.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's what I heard at least. But I think it's really
This is just like, you know, it only snows like this every like once in 10 years. And then for it to remain cold.
I have a doc that'll
it's also
keep
like
notes on.
has the record breaking.
Okay.
So
I think
it's just like not my.
about,
Yeah, it's a- nobody knows what to do.
probably list off the projects for.
Okay. I gotta pick the good ones. So let's see.
No, that was
Yeah.
Oh. I'm not really allowed to get the beta today.
No, but now it's saying wintry mix on Wednesday and Friday. So
Okay, but it's not below freezing, so it's not like.
it is just below.
I was just double checking with the team and made that one.
Yeah, no, I right in there.
Still winter.
Yeah.
I gotta stay sharp, okay.
The positive thing about it being cold is that it's apparently less likely for the power to go out compared to when it's warm.
Yeah, the low.
Yeah, I felt like
Yeah.
It's gonna be ugly. I mean, like, my office is in the basement, and I've had this little space here underneath the desk. Just so that I don't know what else to do.
I know. I was going back and forth on it.
Sure. I don't wanna wear like a coat or outside. You're not papered up to heat your house.
There was like a little
yeah,
kind of
because it
cinder
was
block.
really bad last month. I don't know what it did different. I mean, I had a Christmas tree this
So I was
year,
like,
but man, it
I don't know,
was
why didn't I see this? So maybe I'll
really bad.
do a little both.
I mean, the ball from last year.
Yeah, I mean, it may not like per kilowatt, but also just kind of way colder.
All right, you got it. You got it, Scott?
How's it going, everybody? Hello. Wait, I should provide. That would be smarter. Wow, it's a quiet meeting.
I think someone said something. Give me a second.
Well, that's not really easy to
I
get.
was walking at Gilbert to here.
Just outside.
It's mostly clear. I mean, I walk in the street, so I'm probably not a good.
You're brave.
I'd say, take me now. I'm just kidding.
You're going traffic calm.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems mostly clear from our couple blocks up.
Except right in front of the school.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. What is up with the?
Yeah.
I mean,
All
that
partly, because it's a lot of the sides of M units that people didn't shovel, like all
Just have some hot
partly
tea,
is,
some
There's
hot
also
chocolate.
no one who lives in that
And the
corner
other top,
house
yeah.
down there, so that's why.
Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, I don't
Anybody
want
over
to
this?
go by.
I am.
yes. I've been fetching about the snow like literally since the minute I walked in here.
Are you a fan? Big fan? Big fan?
It's my favorite, actually.
Totally.
Okay.
Whatever. How's it going? Hello. There are more mugs if people want. Oh, there's so many mugs. We have mugs per day.
Yeah, we're keeping it pretty low key. Help yourself with tea or coffee if you haven't had a chance to. February is always a slow month for Harwood. We're gonna do things a little bit different this time. We're gonna do some brainstorming. I have a list of things that have accumulated over the last several years, honestly. We have some paper, some markers. We'll talk about some stuff, but before we kick that off, I wanted to make sure we give Sergeant Olivo, and I'm sorry, I blanked on your name.
Dan.
Daniels?
Dan.
Dan.
Just Dan.
Excellent. Officer Olivo and Sergeant Olivo, Officer Dandy will be as our community liaisons with the Northern District. Baltimore Police Department, come to give us a little update on things. So we'll actually let them kick it off and we'll go from there.
Good evening, everybody. Isaac introduced me, I'm Sergeant Olivo, I'm the supervisor for the community liaison unit on the district, which is NCO. I just say community liaison because that's what we are. Regarding to this community, the crime so far this year is, we have one rape, still under investigation, I cannot provide any information in regards to that. There was one robbery, compared to last year, there was 2 robberies. There was one aggravated assault, which there was an arrest on it, compared to last year, there was 1. You have 1 burglary within the community, compared to last year, there was none. You have 6 larceny. The problem with it, within this community is the shoplifting. 2511, Greenmount. I was explaining to Isaac, we are working on a crew that has been hitting the district from all the way 6300 block York Road, all the way to 2700 Remington, including this area. So far, we made like about 7 arrests.
Holy shit.
And plenty of warrants on those individuals. So only 1 female has basically created havoc and another male within the whole district area.
Do we have pictures or anything?
You know, we could work that out later on.
Okay.
I'll let y'all know, you know.
Never mind. I
So,
mean,
yes,
whatever.
so it's basically,
I'm just-
you're gonna
I'm
have-
more curious.
you're gonna have the usual person that is walking within the community, you know. They are taking packages, they taking stuff from, stores, which then they sell it to other businesses, which I'm also investigating that because I heard there's some business within the community that buying stolen goods. So if you've got any information, see any business doing this, please let us know. So, like I said, out of those 6, there were 5 shoplifting in reference to those larceny, and 1 there was a package theft. Stolen auto, you have none. So that's the only crime that you have. I know ICE was asking me about, there was a homicide within, the, 26th Street, 500 East 26. There is no update that I have, everything's still under investigation, homicides has the case. Unfortunately, that individual passed away. Yes, sir.
That's the one from December 12th?
Yes, sir. Which is not included here because we got 28 days. Our start goes from 28 days, so that's how I look at it. I'm just gonna compare the whole year from last year so far to this year. Last year, you have one homicide. This year, you have none. Last year, you have one shooting. This year, you have none. And in regards to the rate that I advised earlier, you have one compared to last year, you have none. There's 2 robberies so far compared to last year, there's 16. You have 1 aggravated assault, and last year you had 21. Last year you have 13 burglaries, this year you got 1. And so far this year you have 8 larceny, and last year you had 36. Stolen auto, you have none this year, and last year you had 10. So that's compared to the whole year, and this is just within, I guess, a month and 2 days already into it. So that's how things are looking. Hopefully we could prevent from those larceny from keep going up. In regards to many concerns that many of you have, we are working on the 2500 block of Green Mount and 2700 Green Mount also. That area in regards to the drug dealings and all of that. We're working on all of that, so just be patient, please. Any questions or any concern? Yes, sir.
Do we have any data just to compare January of this year to last year? To January of last year?
That's what I mentioned earlier. The first one, that's what it was.
Okay.
So that was the comparison. So the only increase, I mean, like I said, that shoplifting is killing the community from this year to last year. And robbery, it was up last year for the month of January.
Okay, for the month of June.
Yeah, you only have 1. Yes, ma'am.
With regards to the rape, sorry, do we know if that was like someone they knew already, or is this like a stranger?
According to the report, it's stranger, but there's more to it. It's not just, you know.
Okay.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, no,
unfortunately.
no, that's,
Was an arrest made in that?
No, still.
Okay. I guess we're just wondering if we should, you know.
yeah, be making more people aware.
With any crime that happened anywhere, there should be a concern, you know. I can't say, you know, this is up to the sex offense unit, you know, to determine what it is. But it is more question to it, so.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Are you able, on behalf of the police department, to speak to potential conflicts or confrontations between us as neighbors and ICE? We had an event on Guilford last week, which turned out to be nothing. It was a mistake. Somebody thought
So,
that
regarding-
people were kind of hastily identified as ICE. They were actually going into a house to fix the furnace. But they had, the word got out, there's ice, and it was a small crowd. Everybody was kind of standing around wondering what to do. And you read repeatedly about local departments, whether or not they're supporting ICE. Can you just talk a bit about what the department's?
With regards to ICE,
response is?
we don't get involved with ICE.
Okay,
We don't assist ICE when we
Right.
know this, when you
Yeah.
know that. We're not, you know, so that's a whole different things. For so far, within our district, we haven't had that issue. We
Right.
haven't had
Right.
ICE in our district or any.
right. And I'm asking only because it did crop up last week with, again, a mistake.
That was, you know, those
Confusing.
people basically putting things that are
Yeah,
are
you
not
just
true.
hear so many horrendous things about
Mhm.
iris scanning and license plate recording and all this other stuff, and it's probably only a matter of time till something pops up with someone. Is it going on elsewhere in the city? Have there been that kind of confrontation?
Yeah.
There's other part of the city that been involved with, the issue of ICE. Like I say, in our district, we haven't had a, you know, I cannot speak for, I cannot speak for that district, so, because I wasn't there present.
Right.
You know. Yes.
Should, as far as like any kind of information that we distribute, for people doing kind of information sharing and whatnot, should we include that? We should consider it an option to call BPD if ICE shows up, or if there's something, an issue?
So regardless to ICE, like I said, you know, we don't get involved in anything to do with ICE. If you have a question in regards to somebody posting as police and they're not showing their identification or proof that they are, yes, I suggest you do call, you know.
Right, like I recall Sergeant Oligo saying at a previous meeting that like, if you call the police and say, hey, there's an unidentified person who seems to be trying to kidnap a neighbor, then, you know, the police will come and respond to that.
Okay, I mean, like I said, any of us who claim that we are police, we are required to show identification, you know, prove that we are. You know, even myself with the whole uniform and everything, you know, if you ask me, hey, yeah, I see your, you know, your ID, your departmental ID, yeah, I gotta show it to you.
And remarkably, we can see your faces.
Huh?
We can see your faces.
Yes,
This
so,
mask
but-
business is,
With the federal government, all that kind of stuff, we don't know, their policy is totally different than ours, you know.
yeah.
I don't know, basically, you know, how they work with their policy or any of that, about the face mask and all that kind of stuff, you know. That's the federal government. For us, we can't. Yeah.
But it's a good question for Odette. I think, just kind of for the association, it's a good question for Odette, considering that, BPD is now back under the mayor's office.
We also
Um,
have some folks who are here who will be talking about this more in depth. Some people who
Okay.
are here who will be talking about it.
Oh, cool, okay.
Okay. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Not a problem, sir.
So, generally speaking, the plan tonight is a pretty informal one. I have been accumulating ideas. Some of these are my ideas, some of these are ideas that other people have come up with over the course of the last 3 years that I've been involved in Harwood. And I think we don't really get a whole lot of a chance to just throw ideas around. And so what I wanted to do tonight, since I was assuming it was gonna be a quiet night, we had, you know, potential for a couple people to come and talk that ended up not happening. And I didn't really wanna push hard for trying to book the night, because we don't really get a chance to just sit around as a community, as a neighborhood, and just throw ideas around about what Harwood needs, what Harwood would benefit from. And so what I've got some brown paper here, I've got some markers, I'm gonna write some things up, we're gonna talk about some ideas. Some of these are honestly just as much, you know, food for further ideas, not necessarily things that we're gonna do. None of these are things, I don't think, anything that we've committed ourselves to. Some of them are projects that we have started on, like we'll mention the alley lighting is one of the things that has come up several times, and we've gotten sort of through that process to certain stages, and it's kind of stalled out. But we're gonna just basically do some community brainstorming. For those who are viewing online, unfortunately, you won't be able to enjoy the abundance of teas and hot chocolates that we have tonight. But I do want to make this a more regular thing, to make sure we have the tea and the hot chocolate and some drinks for folks that come here in future evenings. We used to do pizza on community association nights, and that's even something that we can bring back now that we are once again flush with cash, or at least not in the red, or not facing down a debt over a surplus. So,
I don't know about surplus, but we're not in
a
debt.
surplus.
I consider that a surplus in 2026.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, speaking, that's like, what's our grant?
So, well, that's the thing, is one of the things is there's a lot of grant opportunities that we've talked about, but we also need an idea for chasing down some of these grants. I have sort of broken these into two general categories, one of which is events and activities, and one of which is projects. So I'm gonna just mention a few things I think at the top of a lot of people's mind is, power bills. I think having, solar electrification information events, there is still, money for some of this work. So I think that there probably will be, appetite and interest in, home solar activities. We could even have vendors come in and talk about opportunities, about what that means. But that's one opportunity, whether it's now or when things get a little warmer, when we have a little more space, we can do, we can do that outdoors even. Another one is alley cleanings. We had a couple of alley cleaning events that went really, really well last year. We got, 15, 20 people descending on just one alley that was particularly blighted, and just start to finish, just clearing it out. And I think doing regular alley cleanings would be tremendous. So,
Do you want me to write for you, Isaac?
sure.
I also think alongside that, it would be really helpful to kind of hammer out with DPW how to make it so that when the DPW's crews come through on recycling or trash day, make sure to put people's trash cans back where they came from, don't leave a bunch of trash everywhere, and also like, the lids of the trash cans constantly get like broken,
Yeah.
giant cracks in them, presumably from however they're handling them, and I feel like we tell DPW and they say, oh, let us know when it happens and we'll talk to the crews, and that doesn't feel like a sustainable answer to the problem.
This is a common complaint, is the trash can situation. It's also different for different blocks and for different houses, where you put them and how they're handled. I got a brand new trash can this past year and it's gone.
Oh, wow.
My recycling bin.
I was so excited, they put it on my front porch. It was brand new, it was clean.
I was about to congratulate you.
It's gone.
Just have to chain it up with a long chain.
You can't.
But also, in addition to the alley cleaning, also, porch and backyard cleans for vacants. There are vacant properties
I like that.
here and there that need some attention, need some love, and we could just drag trash out of vacant properties.
Well, along with the trash can issue, I feel like one of the other things is either we maybe need some more education around people who are missing their trash cans. If they haven't gotten any, sent in an application for a new one, helping people to do that. And then also, maybe we can also get funding to just buy trash cans for people.
Because the application process is a pain, you can't just
Yeah.
put in a ticket and
It
then
took a
send
year.
it to you, you have to like go in and fill out a PDF and like email them the PDF. It's
Yeah.
Took a
really-
year?
It's a really good
Yeah.
thing.
They didn't have any for.
They
a long
were
time.
out for a
Yeah.
while.
Right.
Talk to
So,
renters
yeah,
too,
but,
they can't request it,
like-
always have to request it for
It's
them.
like,
And so they have to-
Yeah.
neighborhood, like community trash can.
Yeah, DPW trash can awareness,
Yeah.
which
And the
could
other
be a
thing is, like,
variety of
if we
things.
have if we literally just have enough trash cans for everybody, then people will steal them less, and also we will have less alleyway trash.
Also, if they put them back, I think people will take the wrong one.
Yeah, cause like sometimes our backyard, like, they'll throw a trash can over, sometimes they throw 4 into our backyard, and I'm like, why did you do this?
And I have 0 or like 3.
Yeah, I'm like, I only need 1.
They put them into your yard?
Yeah, no, they throw it.
Sometimes,
Our
sometimes
gate
they'll
is
throw
blocked,
over,
and they
yeah.
will throw it over the fence.
Oh,
Is it cause like it's a narrow alley and they just, they're trying?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right where most of the trash cans accumulate, so in order to get past, they just throw it over fences.
Yeah, okay. Another thing, and there was a grant we were gonna apply to last year, but because we weren't a 501c3 yet, was the idea of community, first aid trainings. I was gonna try to get a grant where we could actually pay to have people actually get first aid, CPR, and Narcan certified, maybe even use this space, and just have like whoever wanted, like do like, I was pricing it out, it was a really cool opportunity, something we could really, I think, benefit from. All of a sudden having an extra 20, 25 people with first aid certifications. that was actually a Hopkins Health grant, community health grant, that was, that'll probably come up again this year. Another idea, back to school night, the Baltimore Police Department does, they do National Night Out, but that is also very explicitly police coded, and that's not always welcome, particularly right now in this situation where we have immigrant communities and places where the relationship between the police and the kids is not great, and it's not our job to craft that community rehabilitation. And so the idea of some sort of back to school night that we could do, even in partnership with the community center here, backpacks full of school supplies, things like that, which we've done in the past, from what I understand.
Also, like an addendum to that, since we have like a bunch of senior residents who've been kind of wanting more senior oriented focus, is to do in partnership with that, like do a back to
Time, it'll happen.
I don't know, some kind of senior night, yes.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That's the next thing on the list, actually.
Yeah, bingo, let's do bingo.
Bingo.
I play bingo.
I was like, I would play
You
bingo.
wanna raise cash.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Oh, truly.
All
Yeah,
right,
spaghetti
put
dinner.
bingo on there.
Bingo.
Bingo spaghetti dinner.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so
Fundraiser.
actually,
For every occasion.
all of this ties into the next two items I was gonna mention, which is the idea of doing a senior brunch, potentially here. They have a teaching kitchen upstairs. It's not a commercial kitchen, but if food is prepared off-site, it could actually still be,
Kept warm.
but the idea of a senior brunch here would be great. Or also another thing, and this is, you can just pull that one off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it out.
Okay, cool.
Another thing is, as, is family spaghetti night or pizza night. Another thing, we could do it as a fundraiser. We could also do it out of the surplus funds. I say, as I watch the treasurer cringe.
I have a thought about the senior event of one kind. I know we have some seniors who are like very financially stable and some folks less so in our neighborhood. And I know like in these meetings, we'll have BGE be here and they're like, there is support. And for a lot of folks, that's still hard to navigate. And so I wonder about like resource navigation for social support, kind of being paired with that event. And like, I don't know if the city has resources for someone who will like sit down with you and like get in your BGE account, get in your water account. Which is technically what BGE was supposed to be doing.
Yeah, BGE has done that.
Did they bring people out to sit
They
with you?
did on 2 occasions. They had a couple people with laptops.
Yeah.
Okay.
At
I'm
meetings.
gonna
I
actually,
do like that though, like having a more general, yeah, please.
Is it-
General resource now?
before I turn the camera on the group, is anybody object to having a camera pointed?
I thought it was.
Okay, no, it's actually pointed, I'm gonna,
No,
I'm-
it's not a speaker. Yeah,
Right, so that's a me.
that's fine. It should still
okay.
work.
No, I don't think that people need to watch me the whole time. I think they probably had enough of that. But yeah, so, family spaghetti night or family pizza night, and I'll say this as an extension of something that I think about a lot. As one of the only board member that has kids. And also, we don't get a lot of engagement by the family people with kids because kids are a lot of work. Let me tell you, having been like in a house with 2 kids and no school for the last week,
Yeah.
it consumes a lot of energy. But I think ways, and I mentioned the family spaghetti night or pizza night as one idea, but also I think we need to do more to make the community association more accessible for families with kids, for people with kids who want to be engaged. Something that we did try like 3 years ago when we first started was having childcare available. And we had, one couple that did come and take advantage of that. You know, but it really, I think things like that take a while and they take work. So,
Yeah, I think offering, maybe it could even, I know there are different, like, when we have the monthly meetings, there are different roles that board members will take to facilitate and make the monthly meeting happen, and I wonder if that could be one of them, is if we can get us extra areas part of our rental, and with one board member who like runs the, like, the childcare room, if people wanna bring their kids and just have them play, whatever, in the room during the meeting.
yeah.
What to say, we were just talking, Sunday wanna come and do some childcare.
I'm always happy to volunteer for childcare, TBH.
Yeah.
Always
And-
down.
And the thing about something like that is it does require months
Yes.
of doing it.
Yeah.
And, you know, people need to know it's reliable, and there's probably, if we do it, it would probably take many tries before we had more than one or two people. I mean, I'm happy to drag one or both of my kids up here, probably only one of them would come, but,
You gotta create the buy-in.
yeah.
I also wonder if we could talk to Able and Charles Village about this, because I know when we had our joint board meeting, there were a ton of kids here,
Yeah.
and also their parents. And so I wonder if they might have some fingers on, that engagement too.
I wanted to go back to one thing that was mentioned earlier, like general administrative burden help, like, someone over there was saying, I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was, but like, yeah, no, I really think that's super important and good. One thing I'm always saying, and it's like basically a joke, because I'm navigating it, but it's like, I'm like, oh, we're the city of administrative burden, but there is so much paperwork, and for like anything, and I feel like if we like, were able to be like, we were able to like market that to the neighborhood and be like, how do I do this? And just like give it like a fancy name, I think that would be like really, really good.
Administrative or something. I mean, I'm
I can't put
a,
the word administrative in the title.
no, I know, but like, I'm a notary. Like, we could like have like a variety of like, just like community paperwork help
Yeah, just
kind
fucking
of
like
thing.
cut the red tape night.
Cut the red tape night? Yeah, that's great, I like that.
Yeah, I was thinking in terms of like, you were talking about having a board member do that, I wonder if for the board members and also to offer it up in terms of like other community members, if like, we could have a people table who are part of the community association, be like, I can help you with your PG&E stuff, I can, like, we can, someone get trained on that system, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or even like source from the community, like one person who like can give tax advice or just like different stuff that would be helpful to people. Also, speaking of administrative burden, I am really interested in exploring more direct fundraising, whether it is small dollar from like a bingo night or from pizza night, whatever, or if it's, you know, large dollar corporate fundraising, maybe getting some money from the Ravens or from Hopkins or from other,
From CDP.
yeah, with places with big purses, because grants are great, but they are often like purpose restricted, where you have to spend all the money on the thing you're being given the grant for. And there is a lot of administrative burden associated with them, with filling out the application, submitting it, and then all the reporting that you have to do afterwards. And with direct fundraising, there's a lot less of that, so I feel like that's something that we should
Do you have any thoughts about how to do that, or anybody else also?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the events are great, and I think the more diverse our revenue streams are, the healthier our finances will be. And then, you know, what are some of like, what are the different groups, like, the rate of the monthly just what pops out of my head, you know, but I want to do some research as to like what are other sources in the city and kind of organized.
I mean, if only there was somebody from like some sort of like local partnership that serves like the central part of Baltimore.
Segway.
Somebody just walk in.
That's true.
I mean, I'm happy to talk about the things that we're working on. I was, just interested in listening.
Yeah,
Like, and hearing people's thoughts. So I guess I would say like, a lot of these things I'm hearing are things that we can work with you all on. We raise money directly for 11 neighborhoods in this area. We're coordinating with the CAP centers, the Mayor's Office of Children and Families, our legacy home care support programs, different things that can help coordinate some of that bureaucratic work. We're forming partnerships with helping neighborhoods right now on small grant, to try to bring in small grant opportunities. Because we have larger open space grant opportunities available. And then one of the newer things that I think will be interesting is we just got awarded funding. Michael may have presented on this last month. Through the Aspen Institute for something called the Weaver Award. So what they had done previously was award individuals who are weavers of social fabric. It is the idea about like basically being more neighborly. Like we gotta get back into doing that again.
Very Aspen Institute.
It's very, yeah. And so now they're awarding host sites in 25 cities nationally. So we just found out about that. I just went down to our introductory conference last week. And so we should be rolling more of that out, like probably in the spring. But I think there's like, again, tiered types of supports, both from like specific, like funding tools, but also just like in terms of what you guys are trying to organize in terms of like what you want the, culture of the neighborhood to be. And there's different things that can help stimulate, that from very simple, block level, contributions, to try and, help use us to help organize. I mean, you guys are all volunteers and we wanna like use the energy, but like use our organization as well. The resources we can bring to the table, especially on the organizing side. And I also, like, my other hat is I'm board chair at the center here. So, yeah. But just like that, this is, if there's questions, I know Ty's here as well about the center. Answer those too. But I think like my point is there's probably a way in which we can either help navigate partnerships, match a funding tool, or just like support all of your ideas for this space in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I'd love to pick your brain because I used to be a fundraiser, and so I am familiar with more of like the national level landscape, and not as familiar with like the local landscape of funding opportunities in Baltimore in particular. So I'd love to talk to you about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, just while we're talking about fundraising, this is definitely more of like a 5-year plus goal, but I think it would be cool for us maybe eventually to create some sort of endowment so that we have more long-term kind of financial security, which is extremely ambitious, but it doesn't have to necessarily even be a huge, enormous endowment, but I think that would be good.
I'll just use some cards, but I'm always, nudge Isaac, anybody, reach out directly.
Actually, Aaron, I don't, sorry, not to make you reveal the name for the CDP's own financial stuff, but I know for your. Yeah, yes, I'm sure it's out there, but like for CBD, they use a sweep account to do money raising, cause like, and I don't know if anybody else does it, this is basically like you have a bank account, a savings account, you have put in, say what your limit is for your operational, and then anything else that you have in that, they'll take like monthly or a certain time period and they'll invest it, and then you get money back from that. Most of the time.
Gotcha. You're like investing in like dividend,
Yeah.
index funds or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't know if you guys, is that?
We don't, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But I can ask our operations.
The list of money, as other nonprofits and stuff.
I mean, investing in whatever kind of form that takes, I think is really smart.
I think just an additional point, when you talk about just soliciting funds, we have not made any effort to engage with local businesses. We've had conversation about a business membership, which got very convoluted when we talked about incorporating that into our bylaws. But there's no reason why we couldn't invite local businesses to sponsor us. And that's something that I think is worth discussing. You know, not necessarily, you know, selling ad space because we don't have a newsletter or anything. But local sponsorship that we could certainly, highlight. And that could also tie into the idea of more engagement with the local business community. I mean, we don't really engage with any of the folks in the strip mall. We don't really engage with the pharmacy or, you know, some of the other small businesses on 25th Street. There's some tax companies and a couple other organizations. And then there's also, you know, some, health providers, substance abuse places that are in our neighborhood that we don't really have a relationship with that could also be sponsors. And they have an interest in developing goodwill with the community. So these are all in addition. And I do think you're correct. Reporting, application and reporting for grants is time consuming and it's all volunteer work right now.
Look, I can look into and make a list of, as I do my regular work, organizations that have, resources for community impact,
Sweet.
funding and
I
stuff
will
like that.
hit them up with an
I'll let
invitation
you
and
know.
say, give us some help.
But the sports teams don't sponsor stuff, unfortunately.
Even if you have like a
It's,
specific project.
you have
they
to
won't.
be, you have to really know somebody.
Oh,
They,
interesting.
they don't take requests for sponsorships from nonprofits or community groups.
So they do their, oh my gosh, I'm spacing on the term, but they're like, essentially,
Charitable giving.
Charitable giving.
Charitable-
no, just like their kind of community, almost a community impact, kind of, or corporate sponsorship, corporate, social responsibility kind of work, they just, it's sort
So
of
I think
like,
they
don't call
rather
us,
pay
we'll
into
call you.
pots of money, right? Like a good example is, I think they're part of, they give some money to that pot of money that comes from like casinos for Central Baltimore, for South Baltimore,
South Gateway.
yeah,
Baltimore
partnership, yeah. The South Gateway Baltimore Partnership, SGBP, they put money in that and stuff like that.
Or like
That-
sports fields.
Right,
Oh, for
and or they themselves like look for opportunities to kind of do things in the
Okay,
community.
we'll just,
But a good example is I was able to ask the Ravens for an auction item for a gala,
oh, sure.
but they said no to sponsorships. Like even their website says, we will not sponsor your event.
Interesting. So, but I was thinking, you know, like the new Harwood Park was being designed. Like, would they, because it's like an outdoor space, would they maybe put money towards something like that? Like, we couldn't just ask them for like a random dollar amount for no reason. It'd have to be towards a specific.
Right, I think, and they do that, right? They do that, like they do build like children's parks, like under the guys like sports and activity and, you know, like health. That would be a good idea. That would be a good idea. But yeah, I think it has to be very themed and very directed.
Specific.
And you have to like find a representative to make an ask to.
Yeah, and I do think we should think about where do we wanna put our money? Like, what projects do we wanna fund? What efforts do we wanna do? Because that's gonna,
So we're doing that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Two other things, the last two items is under the sort of events category. One of which is just a neighborhood, like flea market free cycle event. I know other neighborhood associations do this, but just an excuse to make other people take the crap out of your house that you don't want.
Yeah, the neighborhood garage sale.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
you could even do like garage sale Saturday and free cycle Sunday.
Whatever doesn't sell.
Exactly.
Hey, we could even ask McDonald's to lend us some parking space.
It also might be nice to coordinate it with the Tool Library does a Fix It Fair,
Mm-hmm.
and you can like do it around that time
Yeah.
as well.
That would be a good idea.
Because then you can
Also,
see,
because they've come to
sound
the,
fixing.
they've come to the research fair a couple of
Yeah.
times, so.
And I'm sure Jeff is always looking to expand,
It's now a new person.
it's not.
Oh.
anymore?
Do you
Yeah,
know who the
just,
contact is?
I, remind me and I will find it.
Okay.
It's, Jessa took another position.
Cool.
Yeah, I wonder, because are people interested to do another, block party?
Oh, that was the last item.
Oh, okay.
Of the event.
I assumed
Yeah.
we're getting to the warmer months here.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, block party.
Yeah.
Last year was really, I think, a test case more than anything else. We basically got to learn what goes into it and how much work it requires on the part of the organizers. Also, knowing what time of year to do it would be more appropriate. But yeah, in general, I think that's another thing to think about. We don't necessarily have to do another block party, but I think that there's always appetite for it when it's done in a way that's, you know,
Yeah.
fun and we can really pack a block. You know, a lot of this is just for watching what Able does, honestly. And they have the Able Street Fair, which is really cool. I don't think we need to do a street fair necessarily. I think we're more of a block party neighborhood than a street fair neighborhood.
I wonder if we could do it in East Harwood, because there's a little bit less, well,
We have a lot of space.
there's more space. I wonder if it could be done on that grassy field,
Which one?
the double one on Green Mountain.
Oh, on the side on Green Mountain.
Yeah.
They're the weird grades.
It is hilly, but it is open.
Yeah.
I'll just say quickly, one of the nice things I've seen Greenmount West for the community do is they do stoop nights. And so every month they rotate into different parts of the neighborhood.
Stoop nights?
Stoop nights, so you go and hang out on somebody's stoop, and that person gets maybe $100 to, you know, get some snacks and, you know, hot chocolate or whatever.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so you just give them just like a little bit of a stipend, and then you can have different people lead their stoop night, get different parts of the neighborhood involved.
Yeah.
You don't have to do like a whole block party permitting thing,
Yeah.
and you can do something that's a little bit more consistent. And that's been nice, and they've held it at their green spaces, you know.
That works
or-
really well.
Yeah, or like
Works really well.
sometimes when it's cold, they'll go to like Guilford Brewing, like you guys could, you know,
Yeah.
beers over at Peabody if it's cold, or, you know, stuff like that. But I think it's kind of nice to do something like consistent, and then you can see kind of like organically.
That's not just a meeting.
Yeah, it shows up, yeah, and it very well can be a meeting, you know, but it can be a meeting outside with, you know, snacks and drinks, you know.
I used to live there, and I was a block captain when we did it, and it ended up being very well attended, and it was a good informal space to kind of talk about things, catch up, and also they were fun. And in our case, it wouldn't be soup nights, it'd be porch nights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Here you go. Yeah, bring your, porch musician back to that.
If you're in Harwood East, then it's still student nights.
So, I'm gonna take this up, this is the events category, the other category of items was sort of projects, sort of more one-off type things, that we'll get to in a minute, but, any other thoughts, ideas? I mean, I think,
Porch concerts would be cool.
what's that?
Porch concerts.
Porch concerts? Yeah.
During the summer or something.
Yeah, I was talking.
Savannah was doing those.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
actually,
were.
I will be having another one. Getting fuller. Just a heads up. What was I gonna say? Oh, we were talking about that area where they're having a lot of the, negative activity, and how to like bring in like some art as resistance, type stuff, and I have some friends who do a lot of that kind of stuff in New Orleans, and I'm reminded I need to look into that, but maybe that area should be like another.
Like down 26th Street, near the
Yeah.
26ers Park?
Yes.
You're talking about like the activation type ideas?
Yeah, if anybody has any kind of, I mean, but right now it's really cold, so, I don't know, maybe that can be the beginning of our stoop night.
Sure.
That kind of deal.
Yeah, this was, for those that don't know, this came up a little bit last meeting. It's an ongoing issue, the 26ers Park, on Barclay and 26th Street, which is two sort of vacant house lots that were converted into like a mini park.
Yeah.
With like a little canopy and a table and, you know, bricks. And it's just really become kind of a problematic space for, the neighbors are really frustrated because it attracts drug use and drug dealing, and the people that live in the neighborhood don't feel that they can use the space. The table has fallen apart and is removed. The canopy structure itself is also, needs to be removed. And it, right now, looks like we're just gonna kind of be stuck with a closed off space, and we are always looking for ideas of what we can do with that. That will be low maintenance. Our neighborhood is not short on green space, but something that we can do with that space that will make it both accessible to the neighborhood, without making it like a convergence point for drug dealing and drug use. Because the people that live next to there have been dealing with fighting and loud conflagrations and other issues in that space. And we're just, now we have to just kind of close it off until we know what to do with it, which is a tragedy because it is a, you know, community space and we want it to be available to the community. But if the neighbors are suffering as a result of having this and it's not really benefiting people, then we have to figure something out.
Back to the block party, I was just thinking, I think it might be helpful for when we're organizing to think kind of like what we were talking about, like a stoop night or something, to like have some sort of like theme or overall kind of direction we want it to go. I think that might just make it easier to decide how to organize it or figure out what kind of setup we want it to look like versus just block party feels kind of ambiguous and hard to.
Yeah, which is one of the issues we definitely came across last time, that everybody kind of had a different idea and it didn't consolidate itself well enough. Well, it came together nicely, but very, but a little half outside at the end, right at the beginning. Yeah, do we, as part of this, okay, so we're making this list, after we come up with the ideas, would it be good, I don't know how much time we have left, but to like make kind of like a schedule, do some action items and like
Your top priorities.
focus, yes, top priorities.
I mean, we have 40 minutes. We can, I'd like to go through some of the individual projects as well. These are more like one-off ideas.
Oh, yeah.
But with 40 minutes, we can do, you know, we can do some prioritization.
We got time.
Take the temperature, see what people are thinking, what really resonates, what, I mean, again, I want to emphasize that these are not just my ideas. This is stuff that I've been accumulating over the last few years, things that have come up in the meetings, conversations I've had with neighbors, and then also things that occur to me while I'm walking the dog.
One last kind of random thing, and I know this is not an issue that is unique to Harwood by any means, but like people not picking up their dog food. It's.
Yeah, I think I'm a project that would be really cool, and also I've had some ideas that we could make or install the way we did the sandwich boards, is like some funding to make some like our own little dispensers, because
I mean, there's plenty of those around, and it seems like people just choose not to.
Well,
use them.
I mean,
Some signage.
there are
I
a
think
few, there are a
there's-
few streets.
I think there's one specific area that is problematic, and it is one specific household, and it's two specific dogs.
Oh,
And yes,
but can you could call it in and get fined.
yeah,
Sorry, it's not a good solution, but.
yeah. No, I mean, I think that, and I've talked to the folks that live on that corner about putting a camera and a sign, and they're like, yes. So if we wanna put even a fake camera on the side of the house that says, pick up your dog, you are being videoed, like, they're okay with that. I did raise that. And actually, more dog bag dispensers is under the projects list. I think that's the thing, is I think a lot of the stuff on this list is stuff that we're all pretty close to already. Anyway, so, just to run down these, like I said, a solar electrification information event for homeowners, alley cleaning events, porch and backyard vacant cleanings, DPW trash can awareness and education events, community first aid training, back to school night, senior night with bingo, family spaghetti night, childcare at the meetings, administrative burden help, cut the red tape, local sponsorship and local business engagement, neighborhood flea market and garage sales Saturday idea, block party, stoop nights, porch concerts. It's February, so we got time, but time goes quick. And obviously we'll have a board meeting that half the people in this room will be at in 2 weeks. And so we can take this and we can start running with it, we can start portioning out. But just really wanted to see what the response was. Is this resonating with people? The particular items on here that we could move on quickly. I think one of the other things that I will say is people don't get enough of a chance to see what Harwood Community Association does in the neighborhood. And so they know we have these meetings, and they may know that we do the dumpster days. But I think there's not a lot of awareness, and a lot of the stuff we do is kind of liaison and like the 28th Street, 29th Street traffic calming and things like that are really important, but they also take a long time, and there's not really anything big and spectacular. So in terms of raising our profile in the neighborhood, so people say, oh yeah, that's what they do. Any number of these things could be really, I think, beneficial.
I think it would probably be beneficial to split this in kind of categories. I think social events are one thing. It would help just kind of people interact with the association and maybe like make connections that more people are involved than they think, or feel like that makes them involved, especially if these are like series of things. Just to kind of like touch on the block party, I think overall the block party wasn't necessarily like so much of a lift, more so that we need to be more organized and about it and to be more proactive, accomplishing it, as well as making sure that people actually do the things that they say that they're going to do, right? That was the big problem with the block party. As far as concrete things that just accomplishments, I worry about like taking up more things to tell neighbors that we want to do, while there are things that we haven't done. I think the lighting, we've been talking about it for so long that I think we should basically just pick it up and kind of try and run with it and make it an accomplishment, like a tangible,
just get it done.
and get it done. Especially that I'm hearing a lot more about it. I'm hearing a lot more appetite for it. I have been sort of like very slowly petitioning at least my neighbors on both on my on the 300 block of 27th and behind me, at least the north side of Lorraine. And people are very, because we had to do that anyways, because we had the first iteration of the project that we did, and those people have already expressed that they were interested. And so I think lately I've hearing, I've heard at least from 3 different households, like, whatever happened with this? Why are we doing this? Especially with the dumping, I think people are kind of ready to see that happen. And there are a number of people, including like Toki and Roy and stuff like that are willing to help as far as like actual installation, or even helping us find funding and things like that. Otherwise, I'll end with I think spaghetti nights and kind of things to just get people out, like a board game night or a specific like Harwood night at Peabody, if it's an easy lift kind of situation would be cool.
One idea, I love that there's a lot of like social events on here, but I think something like there's, like you said, there's kind of categorization happening of like social events versus almost more like community, like mutual aid, like adjacent, but trying to bridge the gap in low lift situations, so like soup nights with the theme, have each stoop night be some sort of like drive, or there's one person there that has information. Like, there's easy ways to make social events also have community impact.
Yeah.
And I think that would be something, as someone who is now coming into the Harwood Neighborhood Association, because we were those neighbors that like, what the hell are they doing? I don't know that. I get a flyer and they're meeting, okay?
Yeah.
But I think like, literally, I think events like that are an easy lift to clue neighbors in, like, oh, these people are actually really cool and they're doing something.
And it can increase credibility for
Right.
the
Yeah.
association to like have tangible things that are happening.
And then you can also plug in like, we're working on the lights. This is where
Right,
we're at.
yeah, cause then seeing the impact immediately is automatically gonna make people be like,
It
oh
creates
yeah,
value.
community association,
Yeah.
that's something, yeah,
Right.
and-
Yeah.
And really, all we need for that is, we need 2 folding tables, an extension cord, and basically to just like ask who wants to lend their porch and an outlet, and then
Yeah.
music.
I'll note one thing I've seen some communities do, or is like an ask and offer event, which is kind of nice.
What is that?
It just means that, you're asking people what they're hoping for, you're also inviting people to offer them to share something that they wanna share. And it gives everybody an opportunity to come and again, it's a low lift, low stakes type of thing. And it can be over coffee, it can be, it could be in a stoop night, it could be at the community association for your first 20 minutes or something, but I've heard that as like a good way of just opening up the dialogue for exchange. And then you get to learn what people, to be honest, like what people want to give. I think that's kind of like
Yeah.
much more kind of compelling, is you have like so many people who are looking to give, talents or skills or whatever it could be.
Yeah. So with this, do we want to maybe, again, going back to the priority stuff, do we wanna like maybe break these into 3 separate categories and then look at the list and go, what are these? Do we wanna prioritize doing this to combine it with this, and then make some to-do stuff?
I personally would love to also hear the project list before we get
Oh,
too
yeah,
logged
sorry.
into.
And I think too, yes, like, let's hear the project stuff, talk project stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is a larger, only barely, group than the board meetings.
Yeah.
And so if we can like hear voices who are not board members here, and then like prioritize like categorization, or just like some of that admin-y stuff, the board can take care of, but where we can get like more input tonight with a couple more people here, maybe we prioritize that.
And that's, I mean, I think that's really one of the great things is get the ideas and then we can sort of bang on them in smaller groups that don't require, conversation and dialogue. When you have 2 people, you're just like, okay, let's break these down into categories. It's easier to do that than with, 15 people. As far as projects, and I'm just gonna run down, these are some of the ones I have. You guys may have others as well. At the top of the list, I think we need to consider, welcome to Harwood signs, in particular for Harwood East. Because they don't even know they're in Harwood yet. And I think that's a great way to like, why are you welcoming me to Harwood? What's
Is that official?
It is, yeah,
Yeah.
the city of Harwood is, it is.
And we're even bigger than that, because we now have to go all the way to Lock Raven.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and that could be 2 signs, it could be 4 signs, but I think the idea of welcome to Harwood signs, we have one actually in the garden that fell down because the 4x4s it was mounted on rotted out, but the sign itself is still in good shape. It just needs to be remounted, we just need a place to put it. But
Do we know what happened with the sign Jeff was working on?
I don't know, I think he probably would have let us know if he won the grant,
Okay.
but that was also a really, really big grant. It was like it's like 5 figures.
Yeah, it was like $80,000.
I thought it was like, yeah, like, I thought it was 30, but,
It was, he was doing, there was something else involved with.
yeah, he was getting money from CSX.
Oh.
And it was to replace the sort of, the Harwood sign that's collapsing over top of the CSX bridge on Greenmount with a much larger, cooler sign that was like a cool cube font that you could look, you could see it both ways, and it was a cool idea. He showed me some of the designs, but it's very much something that he was working on, and I think we were basically willing to provide support, say yes, we're okay with this, but it's his project, and so we weren't really putting energy into it. But other hardwood signs I think would still be useful. Also, we have this ongoing issue with the planters from Old Goucher that we would like to move. There's several steps to that process, but there are these large concrete planters that Old Goucher Community Association has said we can have. And we would love to use them for placemaking, for traffic calming.
It's like big gray ones.
Yeah,
Those are huge.
yeah, they are. There's two different sizes. There's like the big and then the really big.
I wanna say that was a sneaky credit before I started.
I think it may have been, actually. But there's like 12 of them, and they said we could have several. I don't know if they said we could have them all, but we would need to work with DOT to make sure that where we put them is okay, because we were talking about putting it in the bump out spaces to make the bump out spaces feel more substantial. But that means,
Like with the Remington business.
Yeah.
ones, yeah.
so work with DOT, but then also we would have to work with, probably, Roy or Rob and Dave, or, a company that has
A forklift.
a forklift and trucks to get them over here, because they are very large. But once we get them, I mean, they're cool. And then the other thing is those, I think there's potential to incorporate that into the community garden network, as just more, we have active gardeners. And so I think there's a lot of synergy there. Anyway, but yeah, the planters is one of the big projects. We've sort of early stages, but not really much beyond that. Alley lighting also is another project. Salt boxes, for some reason they gave Harwood East one, and they wouldn't give our side of Greenmount one.
Didn't they also like refuse to fill them?
Yeah, that already started in full, right?
Don't get me started. I'll talk all night about that.
Yeah, but anyway, I think more salt boxes, and that's something that just requires filing an application and then following up and bugging them. Another thing this is one that came up last year, homeowner ground rent remediation. Baltimore is one of 2 cities in America that still uses ground rent, which is to say that you are not guaranteed ownership of the land underneath your house. And in many cases, people don't even know this until after they buy the house and they start getting bills for their ground rent, which is just like the square of land your house is on, that doesn't transfer when you buy the house. And there was actually a situation that came up last year where somebody may have even lost a house. That was, you were saying?
Well, actually, at my last position, I worked for the health department, and I was running a program called, it was a mini grants. It was a mini grants program addressing social determinants of health. And one of the things that I learned, and then it subsequently pushed, was for these ground rents to be considered kind of a potential negative health outcome. And once we put money into it, we actually did end up actually saving something like 36 houses, all elderly folks, from tax sales. Because people will die, people will, heirs' rights, things like that, people will stop paying attention, and that's what the people who buy these ground rents hope for. That somebody forgets over 10 years, at which point they can put a lien on your house and actually buy it for $3,000. Yeah, and so there's very much big thing about that.
Yeah, so I think raising awareness and also just, we could even look to an organization like Jubilee Baltimore that does a lot of like real estate type purchasing. That's an area of focus. They have a pretty large endowment. Finding a way maybe to partner with an organization like that. So raise awareness around ground rents and try to prevent exactly what.
I can get involved in that too. I work for SSTAT, so I know all about that process and how to get rid of it.
Yeah, it costs somewhere around it's capped at $1,500 that they can.
A year?
That they can ask, no.
To get rid of it,
To get rid of it.
Yeah.
They can't ask for more than $1,500, that doesn't change year to year. But because you also have to do a deed and do things and get the registrar's office and stuff like that, it ends up costing somewhere around $2,300 to $2,500 to fully remediate your ground rent. So it's.
Sometimes. It can, I won't go into the details,
Yeah.
but, yeah, I can help.
Couple other,
Yeah, not to go down too far, but I don't know if it's like easy for us to, if it's like publicly available information, to be able to identify homes that like have ground rent, just cause you're saying
It
like,
is.
people might not know, and so if we're giving out this info, like,
Yeah.
I was on the lookout for this when I bought my house, but like, if I hadn't been, I'm not sure I would know how to find out. And it's just like, anyway, if we can like do some of that legwork, that might be helpful.
Yeah, especially like in pairing that with like, yeah, then we can be like, not talk to those neighbors.
Right.
Actually, and
Or
then
like some
also
door
go,
knocking.
yeah, and then maybe invite them to
I think it's on the SDAT website, when you look up a property, I think it does show if there's ground rent or not.
Yep. It's broken right now, I need to fix it. I'm sorry.
all of the way this is on you.
I know. No, I'm literally the only guy. It's a long story, I won't go into it.
So, couple other things, we mentioned alley lighting, dog waste bag dispensers, more of those. It's just, it gives people one less excuse. I know it's simple, but, also, another one, and this is a personal one of mine, a neighborhood anti-mosquito campaign. Flat roof houses have standing water has mosquitoes. If I'm in the room with you and there are mosquitoes, you'll be fine, because they always come to me first. But, I would rather not that be the case. I think we could do like a cool thing, bat houses and mosquito dunk buckets. Like, I have a bat house, I just haven't put it up yet because, but like the back of my house is perfect, like south facing house, keeps them warm. Bat houses are super cool, bats are awesome, a lot of people don't like. What?
I'd be so willing to have one in my backyard.
So, but yeah, bat houses and dunk buckets. I don't think we need to worry about like, foggers or anything, but I think that we could, because mosquitoes don't travel far. So as long as you have like overlapping, areas of control, you can actually minimize mosquito activity, relatively easy, as long as it's coordinated. We tried the dunk buckets.
I really think it made a difference.
I
also get wrecked every
Yeah,
summer.
yeah.
It was better.
And so we had a few in our, like, just in the alley between 27th and Harwood, we had like 4 dunk buckets. May have helped, I don't know.
I wonder if we could partner that with an alley cleaning event or one of the dumpster days.
Yeah.
Is being able to, I think one of the things that would also be really good in terms of looking at these lists and or projects is to also identify what are ones that we need grant funding for,
Right.
ones that we will be able
Yes.
to have out of our own funds, or is that something that like people just in the neighborhood would be willing to just like, donate?
Yeah, or you can just do a spaghetti night that's like, hey, we're trying to raise X amount of money tonight for the bat houses or for
Yeah.
XYZ project.
Right.
Yeah.
I would also ask Ace, see how many buckets they could donate,
Yeah.
maybe like go further, Home Depot.
But I think like, one of the things that we're all talking about, especially when we get into all these events and wanting to make all this stuff happen, is that we end up kind of going, oh, we could do all this stuff. And like you were saying, like it'd be good to like take 3, go, what are all the things we need to do? What can we directly do? What do we need more funding and like be also trying to like create a full timeline of our projects that we wanna do, and be like, okay, what should we start now that's gonna need to be 5 years out, and what can we do in the next month, and who is willing to do the month thing, and who is willing to do the long term.
My inner consultant brain is already ready to start like estimating hours. You know, putting a timeline together, I think that's a
Yeah,
great
cause like,
idea.
like talking about the mosquito duck buckets, like, again, like, okay, so do we wanna, is that something we would have enough funds by, like, when
It's, I mean, we can't call it waterboarding because of the Hague Convention. No, it's just a bucket with, about 6 inches of water in it, and there's these granules that you put in there that basically, the mosquito, the water, and you put a handful of like grass or leaves in there, attracts the mosquitoes, they lay the eggs never hatch because of these granules. Very simple. It's like, you're basically creating the perfect breeding environment and then rendering the breeding sterile.
Time check, about 15
Yeah.
minutes from the clock.
I do have one thing. Speaking of green spaces, the Friends of 26th Street Green, are starting to ask questions about what to do about that little space next across the street. Considering that it is Harwood, we should expect at the very least next meeting to receive or sooner, we're gonna try and pass around a petition, not a petition, some kind of survey to see what people have in mind for it, because we're wondering what to do with it. Technically, it's owned by CSX, but it's a little green space. There have been benches and things on it. I don't have to take much of the 15 minutes we can talk about that more later, but yeah, we definitely want to see kind of what people have in mind, what people want to see on it, and also we should get CSX to put back the dog, that bag dispenser that was on there.
Yes.
And we need to ask CBCBD to put back that trash can.
Oh, yeah, do you have their email?
But I couldn't reach out. I'll talk to you.
I know someone.
We're not.
I think the only other projects I had, also just potentially bike racks. If there are places where another bike rack or two would be beneficial.
Yeah.
Something to think about on, maybe on Greenmount. I think there's probably several spaces. There are some bike racks there in various places, but that's it. That's what I got. I have one other sort of personal one, which is the brick library, but that's, there's a vacant lot on Greenmount where I put bricks. And it's like a take a brick, leave a brick, you know? But no, just.
We'll need those soon.
The thing is I think that we have a situation where people are getting, people always like getting rid of bricks, and people always like need like a few bricks for a project, you know? You gotta get like 20 bricks. The brick library.
There's that viral video of pedestrians where they could pick up a brick
Oh,
crossing the
yes.
street, and it
Oh,
helps
yeah.
make
Oh,
the
yeah.
safer.
That would be a good
Like a
spot
little
for it, the
brick.
27th and Greenmount, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Traffic calming.
Traffic calming. You walk with the brick, you make eye contact and walk with the brick.
And then put it down, and then people can, also, this is kind of just like a meta observation about these ideas. I feel like a lot of this is just gonna be really helpful in, I don't know, creating some solidarity around like what should our standards be as a community for like what kind of services we expect from the city and the quality of those services, and like also what we expect from each other as neighbors, because I feel like a refrain I often hear is like, oh, well, it's just always hard, or just, oh, DPW, they always just do this, and like this kind of acceptance of the status quo. And I think all of these efforts are gonna be really helpful in like empowering people to say like, no, this is not an acceptable state of affairs with whatever the issue is, and, getting that changed.
We're on a mission.
Just wanted to bring up something that was in the chat. Miss, what's her name again? Chiquetta Wallace, the DOT person.
Yeah.
She says that, quote, DOT would be happy to assist with the planters project. Please remember no placement in the sidewalks. For alley lighting, please send me a list of locations, and salt boxes, please put in a 311 for locations. So,
What does that mean for the lighting?
good question. That's all that's in the chat. So, I might have to follow up with her. She's Chiquetta is our liaison
Yeah.
for DOT
Yeah, she's
for the
good.
neighborhood,
Okay.
for the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was here,
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
2 meetings ago?
Uh-huh.
So, if you ever see her, that's who she is. Let me see here. Yeah, that was basically it.
So, yeah, we got, 10 minutes, I'm gonna open it up.
For our newer folks, what are some other projects that like, you guys are gonna see, cause it's true, the other, all the rest of us are on the
Like,
Oh, and if we're in.
And
we
also,
can
I'll talk
talk
about it off the
about-
record.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, that's fair.
Because we're the ones coordinating. it.
Yeah, we can,
We can talk about that
if we're done,
after
we
the
can.
meeting is technically open.
Mhm.
Projects.
I don't know, there's like nothing in my brain because everything is just that, yeah.
Yeah, that's literally all that's in my brain right now.
Big project.
It is, it's a lot, it's a lot of organizing. I mean, Isaac already touched, I would love to have some more kid-friendly event spaces. Just because we have a kiddo with us for the summer, and that's something like, it was impossible to try to get her to make friends.
Oh my god.
Because
And
she's
that's
only
just
here
because
for the
she's a freak,
summer.
But like also,
So it's just get her out.
Yeah.
With other children.
Are you guys connected with the BLP at all?
We started to get connected in, but not.
yeah, because also it's hard because she is only here for the summer and she's not a Baltimore City student, so a lot of it is geared towards the students and towards their school schedules. And they get out earlier and start earlier than Baltimore.
It's a unique situation, yeah, but.
Well, let me know if anything. We also have a kiddo that not staying with us, is staying with our cousin down the street. That doesn't live in Baltimore, lives in Florida, but comes and spends.
Hey, same. It's Florida as well,
Yeah.
so that's perfect.
Yeah, get the kids out of Florida.
Get
Right,
the
I mean-
kids out of Florida.
Yeah.
We love splitting our time. That's how I feel. Opposite though, I went to Florida for the summer.
There you go.
So I have a question. So, out of all the things, this is just like, I just want to get like a read on the people who are here. If you could choose one thing from either the events or the projects here, and you were just like, I want that, what would you choose? Because I'm just curious like how that would end up if we're all on the same page, or if everyone's like, oh, there's like top 3 things, you know?
Maybe one event, one project.
Yeah.
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 I like that.
Yeah. Or if you just have one is fine too, you know?
Do we want to start with our non-board friends?
Sure. I mean, I think the stoop night or something, having a regular low stakes, low key event is definitely, that's definitely something personally I would like. Because I think a lot of, at least personally, what I'm experiencing right now is events are very like focused and getting out of the house to just be social
Mm-hmm.
is so needed and is gonna be even more needed as 2026 continues devolving. So.
Mm-hmm.
So
that sounds-
little things to be social, basically.
Yeah, like little things to like build relationships.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Local neighborhood,
Yeah.
neighborly
Yeah, because
community
community
stuff,
building
yeah.
is vital. right
Yeah.
now.
No, that's totally valid.
Yeah, no, and I think the nice thing about like the student night as an example is that can be more of a come as you are when you can, like it's a looser structure as opposed to like, and we're gonna have spaghetti starting at 6 p.m. and if you're not there, you don't get spaghetti. Which like obviously most, but.
I'm just saying it like that too.
No food cup for you.
That's it.
Sorry.
I would do a +1 for me too for a block, for a stoop night. And for projects, I would put lights.
Lighting. I agree with lighting.
Yeah, I think lighting would create a lot of the credibility that you're looking for as an association, which I think makes it then therefore a higher priority project.
Yeah. I think we could definitely do a very low stakes series of stoop nights. as, like, starting in like May when it gets warm.
We could even make a schedule.
Yeah.
We could do like a little postcard that says like, Stoop Nights this summer.
Mm-hmm, and then just flyer it.
Get on Canva. Done.
I too am feeling enthused about the Stoop Nights. I love the idea of like also coupling that with like an information share, something low key. It's still just a nice time.
Yeah.
Still just a nice time.
It's like social and casual.
Social and casual, don't even worry.
You guys did that very well the other day.
And I am also feeling excited about the Harwood signs. I think that would be awesome.
I did find out recently, because I was doing my own research, that it's actually really cheap to like get like a street quality like pole and custom printed sign that you can just get. It's like printed on like DOT grade sheet metal and all that stuff. It's like $40. So
$40. I mean,
with the pole, yeah.
the dancing blue sign was like 100.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Also, like, not to be too dramatic, but
Please.
I'll be a little dramatic.
Please be true.
I love the Harwood Garden sign sculpture thing so much. I think it just like is so unique and beautiful. And if some of our signs could be as cool, unique, and beautiful, I think that would be really amazing.
Weird and funky. I will say, like, Harwood does not necessarily have like an identifiable vibe.
Right.
And like, I think we could cultivate.
I agree.
I think it
Harwood
happens
should have
organically.
painted ladies too. I think we should have painted ladies.
Patrick from the chat agrees with street lighting and also alley cleanings.
Alex,
Yeah.
That's an ongoing issue for various reasons.
Yeah.
One of which is just wind.
yeah.
So, you know.
Wait to see what leaches out when it's snowing.
Oh, it's already.
Oh.
Or Baltimore City permit for us.
Fun. It'll be a good spring time for the spring cleanup.
You can put me for a +1 for alley cleaning.
Okay. I'm using exclamation points to denote +1.
I would be a +1 for bingo. I think that's
Okay.
bringing all
Oh,
this
yeah.
back.
That's also an easy lift. Yeah.
And a +1 for getting the trash pickup, trash can situation figured out. And bathhouses, compared to bathhouses.
That house is.
We could even do a build your own bathhouse.
Yes,
Oh, that'd be cool.
yes, exactly.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I would also be, definitely put me down for the mosquito remediation stuff. And the alley cleaning. And spaghetti and bingo.
Just
There's a lot of
everything.
good stuff there.
No,
I mean,
that is only 5 things total. So that is like
I like
totally,
spaghetti.
you know. Well, it
And
does be
bingo.
kind of like I was just counting all these
And
easy
back.
lists.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Do you wanna do the I think also, we don't wanna do the grab root.
I mean, it was, yeah, I think there's those are things.
Oh, we might wanna get them for bingo, but yeah, we might wanna get them.
We ended up needing that.
I mean, we have committees, the board has committees that we can sort of break some of this subtasks into and go from there.
Everybody going to the bingo night this year?
What are they?
Thursday, starting February 5th, according to the newsletter.
Oh, what time?
7:30.
Aaron got posted in the Harwood Community Association chat.
Are they usually all attended, do you know?
I think this is all new because the renovation here just got completed in, like end of October, and I know like we did some soft launch programming, and this is like, them trying to see, I think, what people will.
I'll be curious to see.
You wanna say goodbye to the live stream?
Because I think it would be interesting.
Yeah,
to hear
I guess we'll
how
wind up.
people
Is it 8?
Or if the people are using from long ago, like have an.
I live stream.
I live stream.
Built-in audience and people can inspire.
Totally. So I'm just gonna, forward the newsletter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, the Harwood Community Association being able to
Alright,
like
we've seen
sell
so
this
far.
out on the website now, I'm like, oh,
Um,
elder arts,
yeah.
oh, like, just a bunch of stuff we
Yeah.
talked about already. So I think just being able to like boost this message Valentine's jazz brunch.
Oh.
I was like, I would
It's like-
Here, we could, we can.
Talk to Todd.
Like put it all together.
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that would be good to.
Gotta go to PJ.
Yeah, we have to
Yeah.
get, we'll have to get five, like, to WhatsApp, cause that would be good.
Oh, that's smart.
That way we're not having to do.
That was-
Getting people informed about events has become so
Oh.
difficult with